Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Hot Blooded. Yes, this is a reference to the song from Foreigner back in 1978. That's because I know that because that's the full title. And although I knew that this particular puzzle was a reference to a song, Willpower did actually email me and advise me that I actually solved another one in the series that was also a reference for a song. It's not unusual for me not to get some of the references from Willpower. That is highly common, unfortunately. And you've got Sleuth here pretending to be a rock and roll star. I mean, he's got the hair, the makeup, it kind of works. And obviously on the stage, although, the audience are all facing the wrong way where the actual band is playing. As you may have heard that, Mrs. Sleuth doesn't approve of Sleuth rock and rolling. We all had our teenage rebellions. That is long behind me now. Right, Hot Blooded, Foreigner 1978 by Willpower, and the following set of rules. Now, to me, that looks like a second person dancing or kissing. It must be the reference to the movie. Must be. Because for a second I was thinking that's a microphone, but no, that is another individual, the green person, the green stick figure, the red stick figure, and of course thermometers because hot-blooded. And I've got a fever of 103. Here's the reference. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, column, and 3 by 3 box, so nothing unusual here. Then we've got German whispers, so numbers on green lines are at least 5 apart. So for example, if this cell here is a 2, these neighboring digits would have to be 5 or more away, so that's 7, 8, or 9. If you imagine that this cell here is a 7, this cell would have to be 1 or 2 to be 5 or more away. Obviously, I'm not repeating the 2 in the same column. You oscillate back and forth between low digits 1, 2, 3, 4, high digits 6, 7, 8, 9, and back and forth you go. Around the 5, but never including the 5. Dutch whispers, of course, numbers on red lines are at least 4 apart from their neighbor on the line. So this 2 here actually kind of works because the neighbors could be any of 6, 7, 8, or 9. Notice the addition of the 6 this time because it's only 4 or more away. Watch out, 5s are allowed on Dutch whisper lines. Thermometers, of course, numbers on thermometers increase from the bulb end. If this cell is a 2 and this is the bulb end, this would have to be 3 or higher. Doesn't have to be regular steps, a step of 1, a step of 2. What I can't do at any point is decrease from the previous digits. So that 4 has broken the thermometer rule. We've got killer cages. Numbers in cages sum to the number in the top left corner. So these 2 cells have to add up to 8, 15, 3, 11. And then, of course, last but not least, we've got the KROPKI pairs. Numbers on white with a white dot between them are consecutive, and not all possible dots are shown. The 1 or 3 in the grid does not affect the puzzle, and Happy New Year's kiss to all. So, if this is a 2, for these to be consecutive, this would have to be 1 or 3, for example. And the lack of negative constraint means that that 2 and 3 without a white dot is totally allowed. So, that's all the rules for everybody. As always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Right, fairly obvious. This is 1, 2 because it's a 2-cell 3 cage. This means that this cell is low, and then we can go for every other cell as high, every other cell. And then all of the in-between cells are low. That also includes this cell. That also includes this cell. Excellent. Now, 2 low digits. So remember, I said you can have 5s. But if I have a 5 to be 4 or more away and both of them being low, it requires a double 1, and that doesn't work. So this is definitely a high digit. To be fair, not hugely useful on this Dutch whisper line. Actually, 1 and 2 means that this is 3 or 4. So that is actually surprisingly restricted. This is 7, 8, or 9. Can't be 9 at the end before the end of the thermometer, so that is 9. And this is 8 or 9 to be higher than the 7 or 8. 3, yeah, 7 is the minimum. 3, 4 in here. Could be anything in there. Right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, because you've got 2 neighbors that see each other, so that can't be a double 9 if this is 4. Same is true in here. These two cells see each other. Unfortunately, either of these could be a 4. Right, you can definitely see that we are flipping polarity here. So if you make the assumption incorrectly here that the Dutch whisper lines are oscillating between high and low digits, you're going to run into a trouble here. Essentially, that blue and that red are all pointing towards that cell. So the only way this would work is if there is a 5 in one of these two cells. So that could be the 5, for example. That could be 1, that could be 9. That would work. That could be 5, that could be 9, that could be 1. That would also work. One of these cells is a 1, not that one. And therefore that is not a 1. 2 or 3 means this is at least 7, 8, or 9. Still German whisper line. So this is 7, 8, or 9. This is at least a 3. And in fact, it has to be a 3. I don't know how I didn't notice this. That's our first digit. That is a 3. Since it sees two neighbors. That gives me a 7 in here. That gives me a 1-2 pair to be next to the 7, and that gives me a 3 in there, and that's not a 3. This is again 8 or 9, and we're often racing. That is also another 8 or 9 next to the 3. That is 6 or 9. 6 kind of works, double 1. No, sorry, 6 and 7, excuse me. But that does mean that this is another 1-2. Okay. I was going to say we were off and racing for a second, but not quite yet. I think it's fair to say that given one of these is a 5, and it's going to be surrounded by a 1-9 pair, this is actually a 5-9 pair. I should have seen that earlier. That's 8, 8, that's 9. Therefore, that's 8, that's 7, and that's 9. That preserved my option in here. Unfortunate. Right. If this is 6... this is at least a 5, sorry, a maximum of 5, and it can't be because I've got a 5-9 pair. It also cannot be a 4 because it would require a double 4 in the cage. So this is 1, 2, or 3. And the 3 would be joined with a 5, which it can't be. So this is 1 or 2, and this would be 6 or 7. In here, I know that this is 7, 8, 9. Aside from that 7, there isn't really much of a restriction. There's a second 6, 7 somewhere in these two cells with an 8, 9, but it could be anywhere. Interesting. Okay, that can't be a 5 because it would have 1 and 9 in 3 cells. So that is the 9, that is the 5. Therefore, this is the 1, this is the 2. That one gave me a 2 and a 1. Lovely. And then this is a low digit that is not 1, 2, 3, and it can't be 5 because we already used it. That is definitely a 4. Next to the 4 can be 8 or 9. It can't be 9, so that is an 8. This is 6, 7, 9. 1 and 2 means this is 3 or 4, so that can't be 6 or 7. That is definitely a 9. 8 in here would require low digits of 1, 2, 3. And then these cells, we don't actually know. In fact, 1, 2, 3 gave me a 4 in here. There's a definite 3 between them. But I think whichever one has a 1 would actually allow a 5 in there. In fact, almost one of them here, 1, 2, and 3, that is definitely a 1, that is definitely a 2, that is definitely a 3. And then this requires a high digit that is not 8 or 9, but it can be 5 as well as 6 and 7. This 3 requires 7, 8, or 9. And we're kind of starting to wrap up a bit with the variance. So 5, 6, 7 in here means more 5, 6, 7s. There's a third 5, 6, 7 in here. And then, sorry, I'm having a senior moment. The senior moment is, where's the 4? Of course, because the 8 could have had a 4. I'm sorry. So I'm going to remove all of these. That is still 3 or 4 because this is 1 or 2. That is still 1 or 2 because this is 6 or 7. But, pardon me, these could be 1, 2, 3, 4. This is not 2, 3, or 4. So this is still a 1. This is still a 2. And this is 3 or 4. We know by the fact that I made a mistake earlier that this is not a 4. Otherwise, where would 4 go in box 2? I mean, it's usable. You know, if I was better at pencil marking, I would have corner pencil marked a 4 in there, and therefore that is a 3, that is a 4. I am going to use it. This is 8 or 9 next to the 4, and this is still 5, 6, or 7. So now we're left with 5, 6, 7, and a 4 in here, and that is all looking correct. 2 forces a 7, allows me both 1 and 2. And like I was saying earlier, we're nearly done with the variance. Right, minimum is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a Dutch whisper line, isn't it? Interesting. So I am actually allowed a 5 in here and a 9. So this is the maximum. The maximum? Yes, because if it's any bigger, it'll be a 6, and then this will be 1 or 2. So this thermometer looks like it's actually forced because of this Dutch whisper line. That is very clever. 5, 9, 8. Now 7 and 8 tells me that this is a 6-9 pair, and therefore this is a 7, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, all lovely. This 6-9 is not resolved, but that 2 gave me a 1, and we are very nearly done with the variance now. This is still 5, 6, or 7. This is still 8 or 9. Couple more to go. No 1s in 11, obvious. No 2 9s. No 3 8s. 4 7 is possible. Exactly as follows: 7 and 4. And then 5 6 is possible. 5 6 would place a 7 in here, which is totally fine. Okay, what about this thermometer? Not thermometer, excuse me. White KROPKI.series. So it's not 1, it's not 2. I mean, it can't be 1 because if it's 1, that would require a 2, which is not allowed. And it can't be 3 either. Well, it could be 3, 4, 5. No, that doesn't work. And 3, 2, 1 doesn't. So no 3s. Interesting. No 8s. So essentially, we're now between 4, 5, 6, and 7 to have a run of 3. Can I eliminate an option? So this can be a 6. I could do 6, 5, 4. Right, let's do this kind of systematically. That can't be a 6. So the center digit from 4, 5, 6, and 7 cannot be a 6 because of the 6, 9 pair. So this is definitely a 5, and therefore this is a 4, 6 pair around it. And both directions work, as in 4 and 6 or 4 and 6. There's another 4, 6 pair plus something. What is this something? A 2. That is not here. That is a 2. That can't be 4. That is a 6. That is a 4. That is a 6. These 2 digits are now known. That is an 8. That is a 3. That 8 hasn't done much. It's given me 4, 5, 7 in here. 5 and 7. 5, 7. 5, 7 means something. Means not 5 because that's not 6. Okay. And then there's a definite 6 in here plus a 5, 7. And again, the 5, 7 has to be up there, and this is the 6. These 2 cells, or 3 cells I should say now, I need 1, 2, and 3. No 2s is a 2, and then 1 and 3 in here. 3 feels tricky because 4, 5, 6 are all not available. So that would have to be 7, 8, and 9 are available. And then this would have to be 8. So this would be very specific. That would be 3, 7, 8. Thing is, even if it's not 3, because this cell cannot be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. It sees all of them. That is always 7, and therefore this is always 8 because of that 9. And we still end up with a 1, 3 pair in here. Right, the finishing strokes for this particular puzzle. There's a 2 in here. There's a 2, a 5, 6, 7, and a 4. Not very useful. Well, the 2 and 4 are not here. This is 5 or 6 because it's not a 7. In fact, it's not a 5 or 7. That is just 6. That is not a 6. That's a 5-7 pair. Hasn't helped me with a 4 and 6. And then in here, I need a 2-4 pair, both of which work. Okay. 6-9 still not used. Tons of option again. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 or 6, but it can't be 6. I say ton of options. It's fully done. That's 8. 8 is down here. Again, not very useful. As is the 7. That is 7, 8. 7, 8. This is a known digit. That is a 6. Now, I need a 1, and it's neither of these cells because of, Sudoku. And then I need a 3, which can only be in here, and then a 4. Still not helping with my 6-9 pair. 7-8 does. That's 9. That's 6. That's 9. And then I need 2 and 3. 5 and 6. So 2, 6. That is the 2. That is the 6. And then 5 and 3 unresolved. That 11K just suspicious because so far I haven't found it very useful. That 7 can only be in here in row 8 and therefore hasn't helped. Never mind. And then in here I need 5 and something. 5 and 8. That's the 5. That's the 8. That's another 4 or 6. It's a 6. That's a 4. That's a 7. That's a 5. That's a 2. That's a 4. 3 and 5 unresolved. 3 is now resolving it. I need 1 and 9 unresolved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a 6 somewhere. How did I manage that? There you go. I need a 7, which can only be in here, and then 9, which can only be in there, which gives me 1, 9. I can type 9, 3, 1. Actually, that 5 and 7 are also resolved. And then if I've not made any mistakes, 4 and 5 for the finish. Fairly smooth puzzle. Mr. Willpower, thank you so much for this recommendation. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.